Hey everyone, it's finally de-winterizing day, and some of you said you wanted to see a video to see what we do.
If you're wondering where Dan was, this video was shot in the spring of 2021 when Dan was in Latvia with the Canadian Armed Forces, which goes to show why both partners need to know how to do stuff on the trailer. While he was there, he did this very impressive but grueling 34-kilometer ruck march, and here he is doing some international relations coaching the Latvian women's national hockey team. Back to it.
So step one, I am hooking up our water hose to the city water connection, and then I'm going to turn on all of the taps everywhere in the trailer, including our outside taps, and we are going to rinse it through so all of the antifreeze is out of the lines. Okay, the water's on. It's really hot in here, and we are going to start flushing all the drains. Bubblegum pink, baby. We're gonna let that fill up the tank, get it all cleared out, squeeze through to the bathroom, where we're gonna do the same thing. Oh yeah, look at that stuff. I'm gonna take the shower head down a little bit. That one didn't actually take too long to go through, but we're gonna filter through and make sure it's nice and flushed. Fill up the whole tank so that we can drain it, the holding tank. Let's get this one turned on here. Take a shower, anybody? Let that run for a minute. Make sure not to forget your outdoor shower if you have one.
And we take a moment of appreciation for dads who are always happy to come over and help you with anything. We're running pretty clear. Let's head inside.
Okay, so the gray tank's already 2/3 full. I'm gonna shut off the kitchen tap since that was the first one. I still hear the shower in here running, so I'm gonna shut these ones off. Should be nice and clear. All out, I don't smell it anymore. And I'm going to give, oh yeah, look at that pink stuff. I'm gonna give a little flush here and just clean out the toilet. It's not too much in there anyway. I'm not too fussed about the toilet. And I don't want to fill up the black tank. So we have done stage 1 of de-winterizing. So when you're running water through the system, you also want to make sure that you are checking for leaks, making sure that everything's nice and dry, that nothing's kind of, shifted over the winter or vibration while traveling to make a water problem in your trailer. So we talk a lot about sanitizing the freshwater system and how important it is. And every year I make sure to go back in our manual and make sure that I get the bleach to water ratio right. So the solution is 1/4 cup to 1 gallon of water for every 15 gallons of tank capacity. So we do have a 40-gallon tank on this rig. So we're gonna use 2 3/4 gallons of the solution. So I know the instructions say let it sit for 4 hours. We've talked a lot on the podcast. We tend to let it sit for 8 because we actually do use the taps for brushing our teeth, the odd time making a coffee, etc. So we just let it sit for a few more hours, make sure it's nice and good to go. And the important thing is just making sure that you're not overdoing the bleach to water solution.
Before we get to the actual bleach step, I'm going to now fill up the freshwater connection, so any of the antifreeze that was sitting in the tanks will also get flushed out. Why I do this separately from doing the city water first is I just find the city water is a little bit quicker to get the taps initially flushed through. I can see that they're all clean, and then we run another tank through in the freshwater just to make sure everything's cleared out before we sanitize. You might choose to do the freshwater connection and just do, a couple of full tanks. I just find it's a little bit quicker. More than one way to do this, but you do you, boo.
Okay, it's done. Okay, so the freshwater tank is filled. So now I am going to come over here, turn my electric water pump on. We're not doing anything with the water heaters because the water heater is still bypassed. That's going to be the last step in the de-winterization. So now that my water pump's on, hopefully it's working. We have had problems with that in the past. That's the only part we've ever had to replace on the trailer. But I am going to turn on my water and let this run through the entire tank again and flush it all out one more time. So you can probably hear the pump running right now. That is because I've got my pump here, which was replaced a couple of years ago. And we've got our valves bypassed. And what I would recommend you do is take a picture of the valves before, and then once you get it successfully set up, so you have a before and after of how the valves are set for the bypass, because there is no diagram anywhere in our manuals, in the little cavity that's got the water heater. This tube, which is used to blow air into the system, that by default was left open. So if I hadn't shut that, then water would be spewing all over our trailer right now. So I've made sure that there's 1, 2, 3, 4 valves that need to be set correctly to get water into the hot water heater and to make sure the pump runs without getting damaged. There goes my cute dad. He's here to help me de-winterize today. And he's going to turn on the hose once again because we filled up the fresh water. We have made sure that the water heater and the water pump are functioning efficiently and that the bypass valves are set appropriately. And now we're putting more water into the tank. And then I've already pre-measured my bleach that I need with just, household bleach. And we're gonna mix it with a little bit of water. And then we are going to use our water funnel to go ahead and put it in the tank. And then we were gonna fill the rest up with water, run it through the taps until we smell bleach, and then it is going to sit for 8 hours. Okay, bleach and water going in. Okay, it is 9:45 at night. I am packing up the trailer to get ready to go tomorrow. And it's just about the time where I need to be emptying the tanks of the bleach solution. So what I've done is I've just pulled the low point drain underneath the trailer to drain the freshwater tank. And then I'm going to fill it up again with more fresh water. Except when I do that, I'm not going to turn on the water pump and clear the taps that way. What I'm going to actually do is hook up the city water connection and clear the taps just with city water, because it's just gonna stop any residual chlorine that's in the freshwater tank from getting into the water system. So I am draining as we speak, and in about 10 minutes I will hook up the fresh water to fill it again and drain it, and then I will see what the smell is like coming out of that freshwater tank. If it's still chloriney, I will do it once more just to clear it off. And like I said, we're really particular about the sanitization of the tank, because I know a lot of people don't necessarily use their water for brushing their teeth or cooking or drinking, and we do all of that. We won't turn on the tap and take a glass full of water, but we'll use it for cooking and we'll use it for brushing our teeth, and then we usually have jugs of water outside that we use for cooking and drinking. But anyway, we're really particular in how we sanitize it, because hey, we've had the trailer since it's new, and we at least know that it's been sanitized once, maybe twice a year, depending on where we go, how hot it is, the weather, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so after all that's done, then I can start packing the trailer. I've got the fridge cooled down and the cupboards are all cleaned out and everything is ready to go in for tomorrow.